especially when progress is slow. Many learners ask themselves, why can't I remember new words? How can I get better outside of my lessons? Why do I understand but find it hard to speak? Why does my accent sound different from native speakers? How long will it take to be fluent? If you feel stuck, you are not alone. But don't worry, fluency is possible for you. Learning a language is like growing a garden. With patience, regular practice, and the right methods, your skills will improve. There is no magic trick, but every small step brings you closer to speaking with confidence. Keep going, and you will see real progress. First, imagine a young student, let's call her Olivia, who's just started her English journey. She decides to transform herself into a little English sponge, soaking up everything around her. This is immersion. It's not just about the hours spent in class. It's about integrating English into her daily life, making it a constant companion. What are some small ways you could start immersing yourself in English today? She changes her phone's language to English. Now, instead of seeing notifications, her phone says notificaciones or notifiche in English. She puts on her headphones and listens to English music while cleaning her room. Instead of just listening to the tunes, she starts to pay attention to the words. She finds her favorite singer and listens to the song a couple of times, trying to learn the lyrics. At night, instead of watching a show from her country, she watches an episode of her favorite TV series with English subtitles. At first, she focuses on reading the subtitles, and slowly she starts to understand some of the words. And since she loves to bake, she finds a YouTube channel with an English chef and follows a recipe for chocolate chip cookies, carefully watching how they do it, trying to learn the new words. This way, English slowly becomes a part of her everyday life, like a familiar friend who's always there. Next, imagine Olivia, now a little braver, deciding to use her voice, like birds joyfully singing in the morning. This is speak, speak, speak. She knows that making mistakes are part of the process, like a child learning to walk. How do you feel when you make a mistake in English? She finds a friend, let's call him Tom, who's also learning English, and they decide to practice speaking together. They create a routine where they call each other 3 times a week and ask simple questions like, what is your favorite movie? Or, what was the most interesting thing you learned today? One day, when she goes to her favorite coffee shop, she decides to try to order in English. Instead of just pointing at the menu, she says with a little nervousness, I would like a latte, please, and feels so proud of herself when she successfully orders. She even tries to add thank you at the end and feels even prouder. At home, when she is alone, she practices talking about her day, trying to find the correct words. It's like training her voice to sing a new song. And then, Olivia decides to train her ears and listen carefully, like a musician listening to a beautiful melody. This is listen actively. It's not just about hearing English. It's about paying careful attention to the details, like pronunciation, the intonation, the rhythm, and the way sentences are put together. When she watches a movie, she starts focusing on how the actors say their lines. She tries to mimic their pronunciation, even pausing the movie to repeat some of the lines she liked. She also discovers podcasts on her phone and finds one about nature and learns so many new words about animals and their habitats while she is walking in the park. She takes a notebook and a pen with her, and every time she hears a new word, she writes it down to look it up later, slowly building her understanding. What kind of English do you find most interesting to listen to? It's about training her ears to hear and understand the nuances of English. Now, Olivia realizes that she needs to start reading, just like a garden needs the right soil to help her learning grow. So she starts with simple things, and that's read regularly. At first, she chooses picture books with simple sentences, such as, "The dog is black," or "The sun is yellow." She loves drawing, so she finds a comic book in English about superheroes, and she is hooked. Gradually, she starts reading simple novels and tries to find books about her favorite things, like fantasy or mystery. She uses a website where there are both pictures and text, so that if she does not understand a word, the picture helps her, like a friend giving her clues. She doesn't try to understand every single word. She focuses on understanding the overall story, letting her mind soak up new words and ideas. What kind of books or articles would you find most enjoyable to read in English? Next, Olivia decides that she wants to share her thoughts and start putting them into words, like a painter creating a masterpiece. So, she starts to write. Often, she buys a pretty notebook and starts a journal about her day. One day she writes, "Today I went to the park and saw a beautiful bird." Another day, she writes about her favorite movie character. She also tries to write emails to her friend Tom in English to share her thoughts and practice putting sentences together. She finds an online prompt and tries to write a short story using her new words. Do you like to write on paper or on the computer? Even just 1 or 2 sentences every day. She feels that she is building her skills. Now, Olivia understands that she needs to learn new words, not just from lists, but in a real way. So, she begins to learn vocabulary in context. She keeps a notebook with her, and every time she encounters a new word while watching a video or reading a book, she writes it down with the sentence where she found it. For example, if she is reading and sees the word enormous, she would write it down with the sentence from the book, like, "The castle was enormous," and then she tries to use the word herself by saying, "My dog is enormous." Slowly, her vocabulary begins to grow naturally. Have you tried learning vocabulary this way? How did it feel? Olivia knows she also needs to understand how the language is built, and so she starts to focus on grammar. She doesn't feel overwhelmed and starts with simple things, such as how to make a sentence and how to use simple tenses. She finds an easy grammar book for beginners online and learns the basics, like I play, I played, and I will play. She practices using them in her speaking and writing. She uses a website with simple explanations for beginners. What part of English grammar do you find the most difficult? It's like building the framework of a house, one brick at a time. Olivia understands now that making mistakes is part of the learning process, and so she decides to welcome them as friends. She starts to make mistakes. Whenever she says something wrong, she does not feel shy or sad. She smiles and learns from that mistake. She even tells Tom about her mistakes, and they laugh about them together When someone corrects her, she thanks them, knowing they're just trying to help. It's like learning to ride a bicycle. You fall, but you learn and become better. How can you change your attitude towards your mistakes? She decides to be kind to herself and set simple goals, so Olivia starts to set realistic goals. Instead of trying to become fluent in 1 month, she makes simple goals, such as, I will learn 5 new words every week. I will read in English for 20 minutes every day. Or, I will speak in English to Tom 3 times a week. She keeps track of her progress, and when she reaches her goals, she gives herself a little reward, like watching an episode of her favorite TV show, in English, of course. What is one small goal you can set for yourself this week? And finally, Olivia knows that learning a language takes time, so she decides to be patient and persistent. She accepts that there will be good days and bad days, and that some days she won't feel like learning. But she knows it's important to keep going. It's like watering a seed every day. Even when you do not see it growing, you still keep watering, and eventually it will bloom. She knows that one day her English will be as beautiful as the garden she has been nurturing. How can you stay motivated when learning feels hard? Now, on top of all this amazing progress, Olivia realizes that having a personal guide could be very helpful, so she decides to find a tutor. She finds a teacher online, a kind and knowledgeable woman who will help her identify her mistakes and answer her questions. The tutor helps her to improve her speaking and helps her with difficult grammar points. She is her guide to this amazing adventure. Olivia also realizes that taking care of her body and mind is also important. She gets enough sleep every night because when she sleeps, her brain recharges and remembers all the new things she has learned. She revises her words and grammar every week to make them stick in her mind. She eats healthy food so she has the energy to keep going. She finds a friend, Tom, and they make a great learning team together. And finally, Olivia makes sure to make the learning process fun by choosing books, movies, and activities that she enjoys in English. So, my dear friends, that is the amazing journey of Olivia, and your journey to English fluency can be just as amazing. Remember to immerse yourself in English, speak bravely, listen carefully, read widely, write thoughtfully, learn vocabulary naturally, understand grammar, embrace your mistakes, set realistic goals, and be patient and persistent. Find a tutor to help guide you, sleep well, revise often, eat healthily, find a learning buddy, and most importantly, make it fun. You have everything you need to succeed, and I have complete faith in you. Now go forth and create your amazing English journey. You've got this. And that's it for today's journey towards fluency. Remember, every small step you take brings you closer to your goal. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What language are you learning, and what's your biggest challenge? Let's chat in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends who are also learning a language. I'll see you in the next video. Keep learning